Even though Jodie Foster is stereotyped as a B-list celebrity today, her influence on the world extends beyond just mediocre movies. In fact, it's actually because of her why World War III was just narrowly avoided. So, in 1981, a man named John Hinckley Jr., whose mugshot is the same face I make when someone steals my parking spot, had a crush on Jodie Foster. He, in his delusion, believed that, in order to impress her, he should assassinate President Ronald Reagan. How he came up with this idea? I don't know. Seems like something from a Salmonella video. Anyways, on March 30th, 1981, he put his plan into action and shot Reagan as he was returning to his limo after a speech. At the same time, Leonid Brezhnev, the leader of the Soviet Union and world record holder for biggest eyebrows, was trying to put down an anti-Soviet movement in communist Poland. After a year of unsuccessful attempts, he decided that the only way to do so was to implement a full-scale invasion of Poland. However, just before he was set to decide a day and time for the invasion, Reagan was shot in Washington, D.C. After Reagan was shot, Brezhnev realized that the world would blame the Soviet Union for trying to kill Reagan so that the Soviets could seize Poland. As a result, he backed out of the invasion, and just a year later, Brezhnev died, taking his plans for a Polish invasion with him to the grave. Had the Soviet Union sent a full-scale invasion into Poland, tensions between the US and Soviet Union would have certainly risen. This rise in tension, coupled with the US having recently elected a hardline anti-Soviet, may have caused a spillover into total war following the Soviets shooting down Korean Airlines Flight 007. Which, in our timeline, already brought both countries as close to the brink of war as the Cuban Missile Crisis did in the 1960s. However, this rise in tension never occurred, all because a crazy person had a crush on a teenage movie star, possibly even preventing World War III. To summarize, the only reason Poland wasn't invaded for the third time in a century was only because a crazy guy had a crush on a teenage movie star. In doing so, he prevented tensions from rising even further after the election of a hardline anti-Soviet, and maybe even prevented the Third World War.